Okay, today's Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. This is the Board of Directors' regular meeting for Trophy Club Municipal Utility District Number 1. We do have a quorum. All directors are present with our attorney, Pam.
Yes,
Nice
I'm
to
here.
see you again.
Thank you.
And Regina, Mike, Alan, nice to see you all. Okay. Citizens' comments. We
President,
do not.
can you please call the time?
Oh, sorry, no, 6:32. Thank you very much, Al. I know you were here for one reason, right? So- Okay, citizens' comments. We do not have any citizens in attendance, so we'll move on. Reports and updates. 1, monthly staff reports. A, monthly capital improvement projects. B, monthly operations reports. C, 2024 annual water quality report. D, monthly finance reports. And E, government Finance Officers Association GFOA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award.
Good evening, directors. Capital Improvement Project report tonight, the FY25 water line project. We are getting ready to begin work on that. We've had a meeting with a construction contractor, and currently we're tentatively scheduled to begin the week of July 7th. That majority of the beginning of the replacement is scheduled to start on Municipal Drive, and they're going to start over there and start working on setting up temporary water lines. As the contractor progresses and completes Alamosa, they plan on working towards finishing up the Silver Rock, Monterey, and Durango Drive areas, and then later on, they will progress to the Indian Creek Drive later in the year. We do have a project community engagement meeting scheduled for June 24th at 6:30 p.m. here in the district boardroom.
Is that for residents to come ask questions?
That's correct. Anyone in the public is open and willing to come in. They can take a look at the plans with us and ask any questions they may have.
What's the date and time?
June 24th at 6:30 p.m.
Cookies and soda pop and
Is that a sunny day?
Yes,
It's gonna be sunny.
absolutely. It's always sunny. Okay, lift station improvements. The construction continues and is underway. I received information today. Most of the materials have been received or they're scheduled to be delivered to each site. I did get confirmation today that all of the fall protection and all of the aluminum hatch check valve vaults have been installed as of today. The next step is the contractor is planning to begin working on remaining lift stations. I think they were going to try to start at number 7 next, but they do have the majority of that work completed.
Well, and Mike's team oversees that.
Well, it's a little bit of a combination between Mike and our wastewater supervisor that's overseeing that contractor. Most of the day-to-day stuff is handled between Mike and Clayton. All right. Emergency connection. We do have that notice to proceed issued to the engineer, and they are in progress of working through that, working with South Lakes engineer to work on the modeling piece of it. It's going to be time-consuming. Everyone, please be patient. It'll probably be the first quarter of 2026 before we see any kind of further information on that design project. Okay.
Meaning this fall.
Say again?
Meaning this fall.
No.
Fiscal year 2026.
No.
I was trying to be
First
optimistic.
quarter of next year, sir.
Calendar year, not
Calendar
the fiscal year.
Calendar year. I'm talking calendar year on that one.
Oh, man. Okay.
On the operations, I sent you all a note earlier in the week that we did finally get confirmation from TCEQ on our comprehensive compliance investigation. They did finally send us notification that they had no recommendations and no alleged violations. I want to throw this out there that both Mike and I have been in this industry a fair amount of time now. Him 27, almost 27, myself 21. And overseeing water, wastewater inspections, I have never seen a letter like this to where they've had 0 recommendations or 0 alleged violations. It says a lot about our staff, and you all should be aware of that. Very appreciative of them for that.
we set the standard.
We've had those in the past, haven't we, Mike? Like back in, like,
We have an inspection usually like every 3 years, but they usually come back with a recommendation or something that they want you to fix or something like that.
Always something, it seems. But it's nice. It's nice to
Good
see
job.
that. It's really nice.
thanks, Regina.
Is that water and wastewater?
This one is just water.
Just water.
Yes, sir. Okay, we also tonight have provided you with our annual Drinking water quality report, yes, this is for 2024, also known as the Consumer Confidence Report, or CCR. Yes, these links have been sent out in each bill. We have them available and online for people to grab and review, and the town has them as well. So this report looks good. Want to give Betsy a shout out. She prettied it up and made it look a whole lot better for us this year. So we appreciate that. Another thing too that I guess is worth mentioning is that for another year, we have received the Government Finance Officer Association's Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. This goes to our finance manager. She's done an excellent job of coming in and continuing to progress us forward and setting that standard and maintaining the standard. Very, very pleased. We're lucky to have her, and I'm very appreciative of that. So,
Is that your first one?
That was my first one.
Fantastic.
I've seen the software and everything.
Because a long time ago, when I was with the town, they were looking at doing it, and the answer was, you never get it on your first try. And so you got it on your first try. Way to go.
Thank you.
Nice work. Nice work.
very, very proud of that. Other than that, I don't have any other comments on reports and updates unless you all have any questions.
You have anything on the finance? Any questions? That 120 on that, I think it was Clifton or something like that, was that the generator?
120.
Yes,
Yeah,
Clifford
okay.
Power. That was the brand new
20,000.
generator.
Yeah.
We
Then,
talking about, on the checks? Okay, yes.
Yeah, I noticed that the wastewater, that was because of the rain, I take it? All the rain we had?
That one, yes, a few weeks ago, we had that.
Yeah, just the
Sure.
sky opened up.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
On our wastewater permit, I believe it was issued in 2016. Do we have to renew it every 10 years? Is there a renewal period, or?
We actually renewed that permit in 2022. I believe it was 2022. We
Okay.
finally got the final approval. You have to renew it every 5 years.
Every 5
Yes,
years?
sir. So we're going to be budgeting for that in a future year.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
pretty lengthy. Right now, we submitted the water monitoring plan, the new updated water monitoring plan since the boundary expansion occurred. And our engineer's saying that we could see a result. It could take 6 to 12 months before they actually approve that monitoring plan. They're so far behind.
But that's their problem.
That's correct. Yes, sir. We're gonna sample according to that plan and until they tell us otherwise.
Okay.
How's the landscape looking at Forest Hill that Patty sent in?
So we reached out to the golf course again and asked them if they wanted us to do any more or had any other issues with that. We received another confirmation that they were fine, they're happy with it, and they didn't want anything else done to it.
What about the gravel on as you drive down towards,
I don't believe the contractor's come back in and done anything on that yet.
where we're still waiting for him to do
Yeah,
something?
we can ask him to come in and take care
Yeah,
of
I
that.
mean, sooner than later, so grass it's getting to the point that it's not gonna grow too good anymore.
Right. Yeah, but we can have them come in and rake up that gravel that
Yeah,
you're
I
talking
just
about.
wanna do something on it, get rid of the gravel or something.
Okay.
You know,
That's not a
drop
problem.
some topsoil down there, whatever, let the grass do what it's gonna do.
Sure.
Because it's a mostly shaded area, if you don't mind.
No problem.
Okay, you done?
Y'all are done, yes.
Okay, any questions on that item? I'm not gonna look, but I see none. Consent agenda. All matters listed as consent agenda are considered to be routine by the Board of Directors and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Agenda 2, consider and act to approve the consent agenda, May 21st, 2025, regular meeting minutes. You have anything, Bill?
Nope.
Okay, anybody else have anything?
Move to approve.
Okay, I have a motion by VP Rose to approve the consent agenda, regular meeting minutes. Second by Director Thomas. All in favor, show of hands. Unanimous.
The
Okay.
right side, the left side is working tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Agenda 3, regular session, discussion possible action regarding audit of fire department operations and assets.
Directors, the board previously directed staff to seek proposals from qualified firms for audit services related to fire department operations and assets. We were able to identify 5 firms and requested proposals from those firms. 5 firms are below, Emergency Services Consulting International, Fitch and Associates, Matrix Consulting Group, MCG Consulting Solutions, and McGrath Consulting Group. We did receive 2 proposals prior to the packet being put together, and another one late Friday that we we sent out to you all yesterday. So you have those for your review, and we request you to provide us with whatever direction you all see fit based off of your request.
Based on the language in the 3 different proposals, what did we ask them to do for us specifically?
I left it pretty high, but my understanding is that if you request this type of service, they give you the high dollar amount. They give you all of these levels of review that they will provide for you at that dollar amount. If there is someone that you would like to work with, we can always go back and ask them to remove certain items that you all do not see as relevant. Does that make sense?
Would there be a cost difference?
Yes. I'm going to assume yes. You will still have travel fees and that kind of thing.
Okay, so one person came in, basically had a breakdown, and I think they had a table, and it said phase 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and they had not to exceed 40,000 or 39,660.
That's correct. And this firm is
And
the
the
one
last one
that
was 35.
the evaluation, I believe, is in 2013.
I got one that's 35.
And he did say that we could remove anything that you all didn't want.
And what they're going to review is financial side of it, right?
Everything that you see here
The services, okay.
is what they're providing to you.
Do you feel comfortable about one over the other?
I'll be real honest with you. The one that's been easiest to work with and has been very communicative with me has been ESCI. All of them have communicated, but I kind of had to follow up with them to make sure that they had actually received my information. But this individual responded very quickly and promptly.
Are they-
They are familiar with Trophy Club.
If you read through everything, they appear to have a larger staff. That may not be true, but it just appears that
They
they.
all seem to be very qualified, though. Goodness.
And then, do we want to assign a director to just kind of monitor it, be a person other than Alan, or what do we want to do on that?
I think Kevin should do that.
What?
I think Kevin should do that.
I don't mind doing it. As long as it
I mean, and I
doesn't
don't.
cut into my
you know,
vacation
I
time.
don't really mean that jokingly, Kevin. You have a true, sincere interest, probably more than any of the 5 of us in that fire department. And
Yeah.
you absolutely would make sure that whatever's done is done with the data that's needed.
Well, if you all don't, I don't mind taking it, but, I'd like to communicate or use the VP as a backup if I
Oh,
can.
he's a non-volunteer.
What?
He's a non-volunteer.
Yeah.
No.
You don't want to back up if I can't make it or something?
I have other, well,
Okay, then you want to do it, Doug, or Neil?
I would
Neil?
help.
Be out of town.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You up in the
I would
crib.
help, yeah.
What?
I would help. I'd be happy
Okay,
to.
so I'll do it, and if I can't make something or talk with them, I'll have Doug fill in for me if that's okay.
Well, now, you'll do it assuming we decide to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I want to keep on top of it, like,
I thought
okay,
maybe we got ahead of
Be
ourselves.
there.
Because,
like
Contact.
where you at or
Contact
something,
point.
if I need to answer a question or something like that, I don't mind
Because
doing it.
one of the things I had for y'all is not being here earlier today is this the kind of thing we do now, or is this the kind of thing we do when the final resolution is made on, does EMS come to us?
Okay, what we decided in the meeting, I don't know if we can talk about that in this, can we talk about that in this?
Is it related to the audit of the fire department?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
what the audit and what long-term could be. I'll tie it to that. Okay, so what we discussed was 3 options. We have the option of, it sounded like we taxed to our limit. And is that what it sounded like, the town's option? Tax to our limit, give them a bucket full of money, and then they can do whatever they want as long as it doesn't exceed that bucket full of money.
Well, they can add to it.
Well, they would pay for it, though, they said.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They
but-
would take the fire trucks and all that type stuff.
Right.
We just feed them money.
Yeah, we just, the
But how do we
taxes,
allocate the tax if we don't have a budget to allocate it to?
they would tell us what we need. They would tell Alan how to do his job too, and stuff. But-
Well, I don't want this item to turn into something that it's
Okay.
not.
Yeah, okay, so basically that's one option. Second option is we take the EMS, and I brought up what you said, and I made sure it was your suggestion.
You got credit, you got
and
credit.
stuff.
Or
And then
modify the
or
ILA.
Modify the ILA, and that's all I can say about that. Okay,
And
So the question
for
here-
whatever reason, we need an audit, and this is an
yes,
audit
yes.
of the fire department.
And it's not something that's gonna happen overnight. It'll happen by this time next year will be the drop dead date on,
For this?
no, for the three choices.
The goal was to modify the ILA moving into later this year in preparation for the next budget year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
The money for this, for the cost of this audit is going to come from the fire?
It would come from the the fund balance, the fire department fund balance. If you all so desire, we'll bring in a budget amendment back to accommodate that expense.
okay, I'll entertain a motion for this agenda item.
Okay.
So does the
I'd like
town
to-
and/or fire department have any idea that we're even considering this?
Yes, they are aware that this item is on their agenda, or at least the town manager was when we spoke earlier.
And again, we said it was your idea, and you twisted our arms. No. Okay, a motion.
I can make a motion to award the consulting contract to audit the Trophy Club Fire Department operations and assets to Emergency Service Consulting, and to authorize the general manager to execute the necessary documents.
Okay, I have a motion by Secretary Treasurer Harper.
Doug, I think you ought
Well,
to-
and
You ought to say
can I add not to
exceed.
exceed, sorry, not to exceed $39,660.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second by Director Thomas. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion?
What's the timing? When would we, if we go ahead and the general manager executes the necessary documents, what are we talking about? Is when would they start?
Well, Neil, we pick the date, and then they give you a 6-month table of what they're going to do.
Okay.
But you say here's the start date.
But there's an upfront fee.
And they
Upfront to
very
get
clearly state in their communication that we have to have a project manager for them to work with.
I know, so we designate Kevin.
Right.
You want to expand your motion to include the two designees? Amend your motion?
Yes. I can amend the motion to add you
Okay,
as the point of contact.
and then you as a backup
And I'll be
alternate?
backup. Yes.
Okay, so we,
I'll second that.
okay, we're gonna vote on amendment first, okay, you're gonna make a motion on that? You
Yeah,
already
I'm-
did?
make
You
a motion.
seconded it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. Secretary Treasurer Harper and Director Thomas was the second on the amendment. All in favor of the amended motion? Show of hands.
Amendment to
Okay.
the motion?
Yeah, and then now we're going to vote on the motion.
I have a
As-
discussion item.
If you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I do, well, I have my question is cost benefit. Is there, we have the ability to do it, right? I mean, that's clear. Hasn't been done, did somebody say it'd been done back in 2013?
There was a,
Chief Lasky do anything?
this firm, I'd have to go back and look, but there was a fire department audit performed by this same firm in 2013.
That was Lasky.
And the majority, and this is just my understanding, most of the recommendations have been implemented that came out of that.
Okay,
That was
Talking
Lasky.
about
okay, that was Lasky.
hierarchy, who reports to what, standard operating procedures, NEFTA, mutual aid, automatic aid agreements, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out whether it's cost, whether there's a cost benefit to it. But on the other hand, I'm going to run back to my military career, which says, in SAC, which says it don't make any difference how good you were. The inspectors were going to come in and take a look at you and just see that you're as good as what you think you are. So, okay. I mean, there might be something Comes out of this, I don't think there's gonna be anything earth-shaking, but.
No, I mean, it's a check and balance, it's
But
an
it's-
audit.
But
They're
it's,
gonna
you know,
look,
it's
I
kinda
think they're
like-
gonna look at all facets of it, plus,
Yeah.
the response time. You know, we have a
Well, yeah, I mean,
7-minute
just
response
all-
time,
Just all the. I
you
mean,
start dying in 3, so I think that needs to be looked at.
Careful, you'll drive the requirement for another fire station and another.
I didn't say that, but they might.
I mean, it might come, one thing is the manpower they have, they might say you have automatic 8, so, 5 is sufficient or 4 is
Yeah, okay.
sufficient.
Well, I would, that was,
Yeah.
when I was going through the material, I was saying, one question they can answer for us is, are we properly staffed per shift?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do we have too many people, or not
Yeah,
enough?
Yeah, so, yeah.
We can kind of end that that argument, if you
Yeah,
will.
there can be, my point is, I guess, is that there can be benefits to it.
And there's another thing-
May learn something I don't know.
Yeah, another thing is equipment
know what you
usage.
don't know.
Yeah.
Are we getting the right, longevity of the equipment?
Yeah,
So
or do we
based
need to
on-
change some of our
Yeah.
operations?
Okay, all
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Okay, anybody else have any questions?
I just want to further comment, I remember ESCI from, over 10 years ago, they were a really good outfit, and they had made a number of good recommendations regarding fire operations at that time.
Okay.
And that was the thing, there was a big unknown regarding policy procedures and what the training was going on, and they really addressed that. And,
Okay.
I mean, just on their reputation alone, I mean, I'm just adding my 2 cents, they were a good company,
Okay,
so.
yeah, took me from.
Anything
the-
else?
Took me from an abstain to voting for it, see.
You have anything, Jim?
No, I kind of felt like they were the strongest one. I read all 3 proposals.
Yeah, Bill?
Nope. I'm
I have
good.
nothing. You have anything further? Neil, nothing further? Pam, you got anything?
I don't.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, we're voting on it. All in favor, show of hands. Okay, passes. You're gonna get in touch with them, Alan?
That's correct.
Okay. And then you have my contact information. Okay, we're up to, go back up to
You need
the
to
top.
take action on the main motion.
Excuse me?
We just did.
Yeah, we did.
That was,
That was the amended, wasn't it?
No,
we did the amendment
we did
first.
the that was amazing.
All right,
Yeah,
sorry.
That was
Are you gonna-
unanimous.
Are you going to let the town manager know what's going on?
Yes, I'll notify the town staff, yes.
You back with us, Alan?
Say again?
You back with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
How many motions?
Yeah. Okay, agenda number 4, consider an act regarding approval of task order agreement with HAF Associates for professional engineering services to provide an updated legal description of the district boundary to include Trophy Club Public Improvement District. And that will also include the other properties, is that right? The gas
Yes.
well?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
And how
So
about that guy's property that's way up?
Nelson's Point, yes.
Okay, and then behind Byron Nelson?
That's correct.
Okay.
This includes all of the existing property that's
Not in our
currently in the
district.
town boundaries.
Right,
Yes,
just to
You
make
know, when
it,
they get through, there'll be a map showing exactly what's in the mud.
that's correct.
go ahead, Bill.
I move to approve task order agreement with HAF Associates for professional engineering services for an updated legal description of the district boundary to include the Trophy Club Public Improvement District at a total cost not to exceed $40,000 and authorize the general manager to execute the necessary documents.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
So
Okay, a motion by Vice President Rose, second by the Secretary Treasurer Harper. Any discussion? And it's not to exceed 40,000, so. Okay, all in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous, okay. Moving on to 5 future agenda items. I'd like, Neil, you attended AWBD, is that correct?
Yes, and it was an excellent conference, by the way.
Okay, you can't talk about it right now. I'm just asking for, we can put on a future agenda for update. Is that all right?
Yes.
And you're going to phone in next one, right? Skype?
No, I'm going to try and fly back for the July 30th meeting.
Okay, we need to,
Well, I want to see what the budget numbers look like.
okay.
Money.
Yeah, okay. It's your choice. Okay, that's the only thing. Anyone else have anything, future agenda?
Yes, I'd like to put in there that we have a discussion regarding, let's see, some of our funding options regarding next year's budget. including short-term borrowings under 49, Water Code Section 49-151. I'd like to have something on the agenda so I can get a sense from the other board members and how we feel about this particular option as far as funding. My reading of it is. that we
About
could
too much
fund-
discussion.
Yeah.
You get to put the agenda item on
All
it.
right.
Too much
And-
discussion.
Getting too deep, I'm surprised
Future-
Pam didn't slap you down already.
Okay, and
Future funding options, correct?
future funding options, particularly 49-151 of the Water Code. And a possible second item for future agenda. Tonight we heard some concern from the town council regarding budgeting for future capital items.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, should we have a discussion at next meeting? Just
No,
no.
Now, we are planning on having another draft budget for your review prior to this. And we can also have another little workshop for y'all prior to the next board meeting.
yeah, make sure you get the stuff from, that we requested of them with the breakdown of the categories, and then you're gonna get the vehicle one and put on there for our side, correct?
Yes, we're going to give y'all all the breakdown you
Okay.
asked for earlier, yes.
I got 6 weeks for it.
No, it's,
I mean-
yeah, but it took us how long to get the numbers, okay? Okay, anything else? Doug, you got anything? Okay, Bill, no? Jim?
One thing, just kind of ask Pam in a way, is the town with the study they're doing and the way they're moving fairly fast in certain areas. I would like to know, as a mud district, what are we allowed to participate in as it comes to parks?
Okay.
Okay, you can put it on the agenda, we can't talk about it.
No, that's what I'm asking for that, for that to be on the agenda.
Okay.
I'd like to know, what, as a mud board, what are we allowed to do as it pertains to parks?
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. Let's see, we aren't going to executive session, so it is 6:58 and we're adjourning.